Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 85 of the More in You podcast. I have some exciting news. I have a phenomenal guest in the house. I always say that I only bring phenomenal guests onto the More in You podcast. I have Coach Delphine Nforgwei here today. Somebody do a drum roll. You're most welcome. And thank you for coming on the More in You podcast again. It's wonderful having you.
Thank you so much, Ma. It's such a pleasure for me to be here again with you.
I'm so excited about today's episode. You know, Today we're going to be talking about how to manifest the best you in your marriage. And I was
Mm,
thinking, who am I going to bring on this podcast? We talk about birthing the mother is within us, but often I find that people sometimes just bring, you know, their average self to their marriage. They bring their
mm,
regular self. They bring their self that is just, sometimes they even give their best self at work. And then when they
mm.
come to the home, it's like they're giving leftovers. So today we're going to be looking into this, into this topic. And because Coach Delphine is a relationship coach, a relationship and mindset coach. So she's also a John C. Maxwell certified
Mm.
coach, speaker, trainer. I was going to read her bio, but I'm going to get her to introduce herself. So let's pick it up from there.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ma, for bringing me here. I feel so honored. It's always a pleasure for me to talk on relationships, to talk anything that will have to add value to women, especially, and to relationships in general. It's always a pleasure for me. I'm super excited, and I want to say thank you once more. My name is Delphine Nforgwei. I'm a women's leadership and relationship coach. I heard, yes, I'm a John Maxwell, like you have said. I'm a John Maxwell certified speaker, trainer, and coach. I am equally the vice president of Dream Foundation. This is a faith-based foundation which I co-founded with my husband, and we youths, build talents in youths, and all of this in Christendom anyway. So I run my own fashion shop. Um, I've been working with women for the past 15 years, coaching, teaching, mentoring them. Um, Actually, I help women find themselves, live intentionally, align with their God-given purpose so that they can blossom in their relationships and in their careers and just begin to enjoy life as intended by God.
Love it.
I'm a mother of two anyway, two beautiful girls, wife of an apostle.
I was going to say two beautiful
Yes,
ladies now.
yes, ladies, actually. Mhm. So, in a nutshell, that's who I am.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And we're going to ask you one more question in that line. Can you give us two
Mm.
fun facts about you?
Mm. I love dancing. I love dancing. And I love traveling.
Oh, yeah, I always say two of my favorites,
Yes.
dancing and traveling. Love it,
Yes.
love it. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So yes, you are you've been in the relationship space for a long time. And so when you think of that phrase, manifesting the best of you in your marriage,
Mm.
what does that even mean? What does it mean for us to manifest our best?
Yeah. You see, marriage is a God thing.
Hmm.
It's designed by God. Marriage was created by God Himself. And everything that God created, He created it on purpose.
Love
So,
it.
like, He didn't just create a marriage for fun, He created it to solve a problem.
Yeah.
So first of all, it's a God thing. And everything God is good, I will say. If it's God, it is good.
It's good. Yeah.
A God thing and a good thing as well. And He made it on purpose. He made it on purpose. So for us to say, manifest good, in marriage. It will be in line with God's intention. So what is good about it is the fact that you are living the intention of God. You are doing it the way God would love it to be, or the way God intended for it to be. I mean, like, that's the best you can talk about.
Yeah.
If it comes to marriage, and let me say with purpose, because marriage is on purpose. God created it on a particular purpose. So his purpose for marriage is for man and woman to be together to foster
Yeah.
his kingdom. Yeah. For the good of God's work. Like he says in his word, two are better than one.
The one.
And then in the beginning, when he looked and saw that it wasn't good for the man to be alone, he said, let us make a suitable helper. So he brought in the wife as a suitable help, as a solution to the man being alone. He said, it's not good. That was the only thing he mentioned that was not good about creation. The fact that the man was alone. And so he brought a woman in to fill that gap. So there was a gap that a woman needed to fill. And that gap was the helper gap. It says, we need a helper suitable for him. So God brought. So for a marriage to say that something is good, is it meeting the reason for its existence or the reason for its creation? Why was it created in the first place? And so for it to be good is the fact that it is in line, or it is aligning with the reason for its existence, or the reason for its creation. And I believe so seriously that, when God was saying, it's not good for this man to be alone, let's make a suitable helper, he saw something in the man that needed something beautiful that was coming from the
And the
woman
woman was going to bring to the
to
table. It's going
bring
to
to the
bring.
table, to add to the man's life, to make it better, to enhance it, to beautify it. It's like a cake that you need to now ice it, and then when you see it, wow, you see the beauty of it. So I believe that the man was good on his own, but was not good enough until the woman came in, like the icing on the cake.
The cake. We are so
Yes.
special.
We are too special. And then you see, like, see me again, I'm going to my book. Now, you see, like, we talk about the VIP. The woman came in after every other thing has been created, the man has been created. When you go to an event, the VIP is not the first person that that attends that event. The VIPs, everybody is on seat, they're waiting for the then they walk in. And when you look at the marriage ceremony, you see when the bride comes in, after everything has been said, everyone is ready, the groom is waiting, and then the bride comes in. Everyone is almost as if we came for this wedding for the bride.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
like,
always
that's
looks like,
why
it
we
often
are
looks like
here.
that.
So when we meet that purpose, that's what gives meaning to a good marriage. To me, that's what gives it a good meaning. Are you filling it, that gap? Are you bringing in the help? I believe we'll get to talk a little more as we move. But that's what it basically means to me. If you are aligning with the reason for which you came together, the reason for which the marriage was existing, the reason for which you were created, the reason for which marriage was designed in the first place. Am I really doing what? Because like I said, marriage was created by God, designed by God, and cannot be enjoyed outside God to its maximum. You can enjoy, but you will not maximize it outside God. The best way to maximize the marriage is to do it in line with the author or the creator, with the intention. do it in line with the intention of the creator. So if you put the creator to the side, you will be struggling. It's like you buy an equipment and you're not
And
looking at
you
the
used to read the manual.
manual. Thank you. You are not looking at the manual, so you will struggle. You can spoil a lot of things in the process.
Yeah.
You are trying to enjoy your gadget, but now, because you are not referring to the manual, you can make some mistakes. You can buy a simple phone. So there's some phones they say it's waterproof. Some are not waterproof. So if you take a non-waterproof and enter water with it, you spoil it, for instance. So that's how a lot of people are running marriages if you don't follow the manual. So the meaning you give to your marriage, it can only be very meaningful if you can align with what the manual says concerning marriage.
Wow. Wow. Thank you for sharing that one. I'm going to ask a question, even based on what you said, because somebody might be saying, but I'm in this marriage already. And maybe when I came into this marriage, maybe I wasn't a Christian. Now I'm a Christian, but the other party doesn't agree with me on a lot of things. Am I meant to just stay there and continue to service this person whereby our values don't align? What can such a person do? Because
I like
this
this.
person now has found out this is what we're meant to align this marriage to our creator. But I found out this other person, my spouse is yet to understand that. What do I do?
Okay. You just took me back to, there is a couple I had to cancel just a couple of weeks back, and they came to me when they had already planned their wedding. So I spoke with them just a couple of days to their wedding. And this is one of the things I said to them. I said, okay, you guys have made up your mind. It's not like there's nothing new I'm coming to tell you now. But the best I can do for you is, okay, we'll do what is best to make you have the best out of your marriage, because you've already made up your mind. So it's not, you're already at what I would call stage 3, you're already in it. Because stage 1 is pre-marital. That means you have seen somebody, you are not yet sure, should I get married? Talk to us. So by the time we talk, we'll see okay, is this really, do we have the same values? Is it the person I should be getting into a marriage with? That's another level. Another level is, okay, because at that level now, at this first level, you can choose to let go or go in.
Yeah.
And this is one thing I tell people, okay, now if you choose to go in, you have chosen to go in spite of some things. It means you have said yes. That means, I call it acceptance. Now you have accepted the person for who they are. Because I talked to the lady came with the husband. I said, the husband to be, they are married now. And then just shortly 2 weeks after their marriage, because I talked with them 2 days to their marriage, 2 weeks, and I told them that you made up your mind. So I'm not here to tell you that don't go and get married. You have planned everything. This is my invitation. They gave me an invitation. So I'm not here to tell you don't go get married. It means you have made up your mind. You know this person and you know each other. You have decided to take them for who they are, right? They say yes. You are in love. Yeah, yes, yeah, yes. So 2 weeks after they called me, she called me like, she really wants to talk, because I told her that, well, we'll only be at the point now where we'll see how we can maybe support you to make sure that you get the best out of your marriage, since you have made up your mind. I don't know the details of your person and the other person. So first of all, the thing is, marriage is supposed to start from the foundation. You choose who. By the time you are choosing, if you are the lady now choosing, you are making a choice of who you want to submit to. Make sure this is the kind of man I want to submit to. Now, if the person has some flaws or some weaknesses and you have noticed them, yet you go in, it means you are accepting him with those flaws. So I asked this lady who came up recently, I said, but now you said you were okay now. Yes. She called me complaining. I said, okay, did you know this before? Because you're just 2 weeks in this matter. Did you know this before? He said, so why did you go in? I said, I knew, I thought we could manage it. I said, then you have to manage it because you knew it before going in. So why complaining about it now? So there is something you call acceptance. You accepted him for who he is, with all what he is. So you are not going to start complaining against that same thing
From two
which you have
weeks.
accepted 2 weeks. So, however, there are some things, because there's also that one. Then there's also another situation, because when people are not cooperating, you need to check what is behind it. People don't just suddenly not cooperate. It doesn't come out of a sudden. There must
Yeah.
be something. It could be internal, it could be external. It could be some pressure from his job. It could be something happening within you in your home. It could be, we need to check the reason behind every behavior. Every attitude has something engineering it. Is it just his personality? It is something you need to understand. Is it his, why is he not cooperating? Do you know what? Because sometimes you want somebody to cooperate. It is not his thing. It is not his style. What do you want him to cooperate with, by the way? So if you understand him and you know what he doesn't like, there are things I don't bother myself to ask my husband.
Because you already
I
know.
don't, because I know him. I know him. Even my daughters will like, hey, daddy will not, in short, forget us. So when you know your person, you know what he will like, what he wouldn't like. You know what you can ask from him, what you don't even need to go bothering yourself that you want to ask from him, because you will just be making yourself
Yeah.
unnecessarily angry or unhappy. So you need to know the underlying reason for that lack of cooperation. There must be something behind, which if you now know, and one thing too, like I said to the lady, I said, okay, now you have to get into serious prayers and warfare, because you have accepted it. If you have taken somebody for a husband, then there's an assignment for you to do, because
Yeah.
you are here as the helper. If you accepted this person, then it means the ability to help this person is in you. You need to activate that ability and help him. And help is in many ways. The help could be interceding for this man. It's not you standing every day and confronting him. And why are you not doing it? I said I should do this. You are refusing that one. Men don't flow with confrontation.
They will just
And
shut,
as a
just shut,
wife, yeah,
shut it in.
they just shut up. They will block everything. It will be like pouring water on a deck's back if you keep doing that. So they wouldn't penetrate. So the best thing is, if you notice that this thing is really not good, whatever it could be that he is up to or he is doing, or an attitude you don't deem right, first thing to do is run to your creator, because it will never go wrong with seeking God. You pray, pray, and you intercede. The power of a praying wife can never be minimized. Never. There are things I've never asked my husband that, why didn't you do it this way?
But in the
No.
place of prayer, you address
In
it.
the place of
Yeah.
prayer, I address. And if I see that it needs for warfare, I arrest it in warfare. I arrest it in the place of prayer. So we don't have to be arguing. And sometimes by the time you familiarize yourself with that kind of prayer and with your God so much, it gets to a point where you just start desiring a thing, and then you see it happening. You desire your heart, because the Bible says God grants unto us the desires of our heart. When you're a prayerful woman, your desires become a prayer. This is one thing I tell women. It gets to a point where your desire is a prayer. You sit and think.
You are just thinking about it. God is already doing it.
Thank you. So, and like I said, that God is founder of marriage. He's the sustainer as well. He's the one that can help you sustain it. Because these things you cannot determine. You don't determine when problems will show up. They just show up. Sometimes they will show up when you are not ready. But then you have to learn how to navigate those seasons, because seasons of hardship will come. Every marriage goes through some seasons. So, and then you need to, first of all, understand that it is a season. Don't make a monument out of a season. Don't one season and think that this is the end of it. So, no, a bad day does not mean a bad life. There are those days they will show up. They will show up.
And everybody goes through those challenges.
Everyone has their
Everybody.
own share of those seasons.
Everybody.
Get that? Everyone has their shares of those seasons. So there are high and low moments in every home, in every marriage, in every relationship. Could just be even you and your sister. People, you see that people have those things, they come up. So it's about you knowing where you are, understanding your person. That's why I always tell women that try to know your person.
You have to.
Yes, understand them. And then understand your own self and know what. That's why sometimes I will say, I love to talk to, I like to do pre-marital so that you get this thing, because a lot of women met with a shock since they didn't get some things before going into the
Yeah.
marriage. In fact, not only women, even men, the spouses, it's a shock to all of them. Like they just thought that, oh, this thing that was sweet from the beginning, is going to be sweet.
Yeah.
Nobody gets into marriage looking for bad moments. They go in with excitement, they go in happily, and they dream a happily ever after. But it's not always like that every day. And the fact that one day is bad doesn't mean that your marriage is not a happily ever after. It's still, you can still make it happen.
Yeah.
You know.
That's that's a whole lesson on its own. Talking of you,
Mm-hmm.
you've been married now for almost 24 years, if I'm
Yes.
right. So,
Yes. 24.
so she's talking about
Yes.
experience personally, experience with people, and it's just interesting. Imagine somebody 2 weeks into the marriage. Oh, that's so interesting. And we see that a lot. And
A
I think that
lot.
will bring me to the next question I want to ask. Because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes as well, people get married thinking, okay, I have dreams, the husband has dreams, but you come into this marriage and you are not, maybe the man the woman gets married to is not letting them fulfill their dreams, in quotes.
Mm.
What do you do? Like, I remember, let me give an example. I remember a couple of, I think about 2 3 years ago, when I first really started doing a lot of things. One were telling my husband, "Oh, wow, your wife is doing a lot of things." And then someone asked me, I was like, "How are you able to let your wife do some of those things?" Because
Mm.
I was out there, and I remember my husband said to someone that I'm secure in who I am.
That's it.
So I wanted us to
So
go there
secure
because
man.
sometimes people come into marriage, the wife has dreams, but how do you handle a person that is not secure in who they are and their spouse has dreams? Their spouse has a purpose that God has placed in their hearts. How do you navigate that part? Because then
Mm-hmm.
it limits them from bringing out the best that they have within them because there's already a cap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So one of the things, I did to myself, and which I always tell others to do, is to keep developing yourself, because
Mm,
once your mind is developed, once you develop yourself, personal development is very key to a good marriage.
yeah,
That's why when I say I'm a women's leadership and relationship coach, there is a link between leadership and relationship.
relationship.
Now, we know that leadership, in short, in simple terms, according to GMT, is influence, right?
Yeah,
Influence. And he says the best way to lead is to lead yourself first.
yeah. Before you can even lead anybody else,
Before you can lead anyone else, it
lead
starts
yourself.
by leading yourself. Because when you lead yourself right, you
Mm,
can now start influencing the people around you,
mm,
right? So once you start influencing the people who are around you, those people will not be able to swallow your dreams
mm,
because your impact will be strong on them. They can't swallow, you can't swallow your dream.
mm.
So you lead yourself so that you can now positively influence your surrounding, or your next, or your closest, or your spouse, because it will include him. You discover that your whole life is, by the time you are you are disciplined, you are consistent, you are intentional.
You
People who
won't have
hang around you,
influence.
They want to be disciplined because they see you disciplined. They want to be committed because they see you committed. They become more intentional because they see the way you do things. So it's about the way you carry yourself. It's about the way you carry yourself. And the kind of leadership we are talking about is servant leadership. It's about leadership that adds value to others. Now, if you are actually adding value to the life of your spouse, if you adding value, because now your attitude can add value or can kill somebody's esteem. So you choose.
Sometimes you have not even said anything, but just your body language.
Just your body language. Because, like I say, the higher we go, the more you learn, the more simple you become, the more humble you become.
Yeah. So true.
And if the person that is closest to you sees that level of humility in you, they will want to be like you. Because the problem of this dream thing is when I like to talk with individuals, because when you understand people's attitude, you can understand why the other person is behaving the way they're behaving.
Because the way they carry themselves.
Thank you. Now that you know so much, how do maybe you are now becoming the boss or bossing around the whole place, and then you go around saying they are swallowing your dream. And I mean, you're just, a man is supposed to be a man, and a woman that has learned so much, that knows so much, that is knowledgeable, is able to influence the man positively. Because the way you behave can either boost someone. You can help them. Like I said, when you add value, when you behave, if it is positive, it adds value. When it adds value, the response is good. The response is always good if you are adding value.
When it doesn't add value.
When it's not adding value, that's when you will see a kind of reaction. It will not be a response. It will be a reaction because someone is giving back something. Somebody is trying to resist something which doesn't go down well, which is not entering well. So how you present it is important.
Wow.
What you are presenting is good. It may be good, but how you present it and when.
How is important and when.
And when.
You are so right, man. You know, there are sometimes that I want to discuss some things with my husband, and the will say to me, "No, the timing is not now. The timing is not right. He's not going to take it properly. He's not in the right frame of mind for what you want to discuss with him. He might say, wait a day or two. Just don't." And truly, that thing, by the time I now have time to discuss it, it will come as a shock. So sometimes I'll be telling myself, well, what if I had discussed it at the wrong time? Maybe we could have had an argument. You don't even know what could resolve from.
Exactly. And you know that in leadership, we talk about a life of significance, which is what you can make happen for others. Now, if you project what is beneficial to your person, to your spouse, because you can be achieving it, but you're projecting what is beneficial to him or her, and it helps you to win. Like, you are winning, he may be taking the credit, but you are winning.
You're both winning.
That's right. You are both winning. It brings thank you. Thank you. Because when they don't perceive selfishness in what you're trying to do, they will support you. And we say that you can't do this thing without wisdom. Wisdom is an integral part of a good marriage. You must apply wisdom. It's not,
a
lot of wisdom. So let him see what is benefiting in what you are doing. You want to do the next thing. Let me do this. I think that if we do this, it will be good for us like this. It's going to help us do this.
So
it's
he
going
can
to take
see himself
us
in the picture.
Thank you. So, but when it starts becoming me, myself, and I think, that's where you easily meet with resistance and things like that. So it is important. It is important to make sure that your spouse sees his place in this new level you are getting to. If your new level is excluding him, then you really not get too much of his support.
Yeah.
And vice versa. If it is you, somebody just doing their thing and going, and you are sitting, how do you feel? So it's a two-way thing. It's a two-way thing. So you want to get involved, so you can involve him. And involving him is not like he comes and sits on your chair to do the work. No, honey, look at this. This is what I've been doing. What do you think about this? I think we should do this way. What do we? Hey, I think. What do you think?
Now
Let's
you
do
have
this way.
involved him.
So
There's nothing you can do.
you have involved him. So that's all. Pick his brain on what you are doing too, and then you discover that you are both doing it together. You win together, like you said. You're growing together.
Yeah. So really,
So far,
together is one of that word together, because like you said, as
yeah.
a marriage, you are meant to be one anyway. So that word together is a big thing. Unlike people just doing their own thing. What are some of the other practical ways that we can? Because I believe that's even one way. If we're doing things together, we stay one another up to be the best. So what are some of the other practical ways? I was just thinking that we can also stay our spouse up, because that we cannot, because sometimes some spouses need to be pulled out, just
That's right.
they need to be encouraged. So what are some of the other practical ways that we can do that as well?
Okay, so yeah, I like that question. You know that as helpers, there is so much that God has put in us that we can do to help the man become far better. When you meet a man that is married to a woman of purpose, you see, it's like you know that this man is married to a
The
woman of
woman won't
purpose.
leave him alone.
There's an engine behind. There is something behind. So, but what I say is, generally, you can't give what you don't have. So for you to back up or to be a good helper, to make a man be the best kind of husband that he can be, it starts by you knowing yourself. You need to know you. And then not just know you have to accept you.
Yeah.
Accept you for who you are. So there's some people that just don't, the inferiority complex, they just feel like they're not. No, you need to accept you and love you.
Yeah, you have to.
Love you. Love
Yeah.
you, because you cannot, relationship intelligence is a reflection of the relationship that you have with you, with your own self.
Yeah, with your own self.
Yes. So
And
you
that will
can't be,
even affect the one that you have with the spouse.
of course. So you can't give what you don't have.
Yeah.
So you have to know you, accept you, love you, and then develop you. The best thing you can do to your marriage is to
Oh,
develop you.
develop you. Yes,
Develop
I
you.
agree.
But you're not always trying to want to teach somebody this. No, once you develop you, I'm telling you, a lot of things
Yeah.
are going to
Fall
fall
into place.
in place. Yes.
Wow.
Because most of the things you want to change about somebody start changing about you. What you want somebody to be, start being
To
that thing.
become.
As you become that person, I just noticed that spouses, there are some things they behave like twins. There are
Yeah.
some habits you just discover that they were habits that
Over
you know they
time.
were. You just see him doing those things, and I'll just laugh like, really. But this is me. You see you in them. You begin to see you in them, and so when you develop you know that you are developing him as well, because developing you is just going to, it takes you to a level where your attitude, your character, your everything becomes very intentional. You become every act of yours, or every word of yours is on a mission.
Yeah.
Your words are creative. You're going to use your words to create something
Create
in your
you want
marriage.
to
So
see.
you select your words carefully. So you don't talk carelessly. You don't talk carelessly. You don't act carelessly. You know that every action of yours is a lesson. You're in school, it's a class. You're already in a class. So when you develop you develop your marriage automatically.
I love that. I love that.
Mm.
Wow, wow. So I'm going to bring that to, as we round it up, I'm going to bring that to our singles. So for those of them looking out from the outside and they're saying, "Ah, all of this looks like this looks like a lot of
Mhm.
work. What can we say to them before they even get into marriage?"
Before they get into marriage.
Ah,
It's very, very interesting. I say marriage is a choice, is a choice you make. And that choice you are making, I say the best time to build a good marriage has to start from that early beginning, from the time you are making that decision.
mm,
Once you are at the point where you are in control of the decision you're making, you're checking everything to make sure that we're not saying that something is going to ever be perfect. No human being is perfect. But then whatever is not perfect should be acceptable to you.
mm,
It should be acceptable. Like I was telling the lady a couple of weeks back, I said, you chose this, means you accepted. He said, did you know that? She said yes. And you accepted, she said yes. Okay.
mm,
So you know it and you accept it. If you know that you can go with this, that's fine. Because somebody that doesn't do that, I mean, if we're talking about, let's just say a young Christian, you have your values as
mm.
a Christian. Those are the things that should guide what you are, the choice you are making. So if the values are okay, because you're not now going to pick a Freemason as a spouse, if that's not what you
Your
believe,
values are completely opposite.
if they are good or any other one, you can name anyone. There are many out there. So you see, if you are one of them, then that is fine. And if you go and pick one of them, you're not picking them to come and start fighting them.
Mm.
If you are picking, means that you have chosen that this is the path I want to follow, and you
Mm.
stay there happily, and you follow that path. So that beginning is when you have the power to bargain whatever you want. When you're in the market, the money is still in your hands.
Yeah.
Nobody's
Mm.
seizing the money for you. So
Before you spend the money.
before you spend the money, you must make sure that okay, this is what I want. Does it look like what I really want? Is this a color? Is this you look at it very well, look at the person, and that's when you have the power
Mm.
to say yes or no,
Wow.
yes or no, and never be under pressure to choose a spouse. Never choose a spouse under pressure.
That's crazy.
Don't be under pressure for, let it not be because, oh, I need a place to stay. Let me just go to this one so that I can have where to stay.
Everybody is
No.
getting married.
Everybody, all my friends are getting married. So let me get one too. So that, no, it doesn't work like that. You have to make sure that your values are in line. If they align with what you stand for and believe for, and then you can go in. There could still be some flaws, but if there are flaws that you can make do with, then fine. There are some you can say, okay, we pray about this and it will not be a problem. This is easy, and you can take it. Because
Mm.
the truth is, like I said, nobody is really perfect.
Nobody,
But the best
nobody.
way to see people is to see them the way God sees them. See them through the eyes of God. Because if you don't see them the way God sees them, you will see everything will look bad.
Mm.
But if God created them, then there is something good in them. And you can use that something good and make the best out of them. So no matter how bad something is, there's something good in it.
Yeah.
And no matter how good something looks, there's still some small flaw somewhere you will find. But it is about what you, as an individual, what can you make do with?
Mm.
You should choose that. So understand your values and then know that there is what you call acceptance. If you accept and then you go in, let that never be a problem because you have accepted
You
the person
accepted it.
who they are, and then you go in it. But you are at that beginning, you are the best. In fact, you are at your best state
Yeah, I'm
to
ready.
make the best, to make your best choice. Because it's a life that you are going to live. I told my kids, I said, we will tell you what is good,
What?
but you know what? What the choice you make, you will live with it.
Yeah, it's up to
And then
you.
It is you that will leave, the immediate person that will feel anything. If it is good, you will enjoy the goodness. If it is bad, you are the first person to feel the shock, even before it gets to any other person. And I tell them every day, we cannot go into the future and fix it for you, but we can prepare you for the future. So everything I'm telling you, I'm preparing you so that when you meet it in your future, you can face it. You can keep going. So
That's
we
so
can prepare you for the future, but we cannot prepare the future for you. We don't know what you will meet.
yeah.
We don't know the type of people you interact. I'm here to leave my daughter in school, and I'm telling her, you have to make good friends. Mind the type of friends you are making. Be discerning of the kind of people you want to call your friends. I have already told you what is good for you. I have prepared you so
You've
you
shown
can,
her
when
examples
you
as
meet
well.
good. So when you meet what is good, you know this is good.
You know.
When you meet what is not right, you know, because I cannot go and choose them for
Yeah.
you. You are the one to see them. I cannot be there, you know. I'm only here to leave you and I will go back. So you will be there and you will choose your friends and you will know how to
And
live
you
with
live
them
with the consequences.
with the consequences. Absolutely. So it is important when we give advice to young people, know that all of this is preparing you for what you may meet ahead.
Yeah.
Right now, life may seem sweet, you are emotional, something is so good, but you don't know the future that is waiting for you. We are only building you so that that future will not be too challenging for you. You'll be able to meet with any challenge. That's what the Bible says. I will not allow any challenge to come your way, which is above you. You are up to the task because you have been prepared for it.
Thank you so much, man. And another thing that you brought out that stood out to me when you know, even we ourselves are not perfect. So why am I looking for a perfect person? If
Mm-hmm.
I'm not perfect, why am I expecting that
You
somebody else? Because I think that's
will be
another big thing in mind that of course the older you get in mind, the more you find out I'm not perfect. There is nobody that's perfect.
absolutely.
Often I hear this quote that says that if you're looking for a perfect church, don't go there. Because if you do, you're gonna spoil that you're gonna spoil the
That's
church
right.
because you are
That,
imperfect. So
mm-hmm.
if you are not perfect, then don't expect that other people will be 100% perfect. We all have flaws and we have to give allowances for each other's flaws.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Before I let you go, I wanted to mention, we have you just wrote some delectable books. So I want you to just mention, I want you to just
Yes,
give us
ma'am.
a teaser on the books. Just kind of mention, at least
Yeah.
there are
So
two of them. Just give us the
I,
teaser.
in fact, there are three
There are three.
books in the oven. In fact, one is out already that you'll soon have it in the others. The VIP wife. The VIP wife is already out. This is a godly wisdom for the 21st century wife. You know that the things that happened with the women of old, life has so evolved, things are so changed that we need to step up our game if we have to excel as wives in this 21st century. So we have some nuggets and wisdom, godly wisdom that will help the 21st century woman raise her standard and become that woman that is the dream of every woman. Every woman wants to be important. The
Yeah.
VIP wife. Every woman wants to feel they are important. They want to feel that they are essential. They want to feel their relevance. They want to know that they are relevant in their homes as wives to their husbands, relevant in their community, relevant in their nation and the world at
They are relevant in
large.
every sector.
So the what yeah. So it is that level of relevance that we need to build in this 21st century if we must fit in and get going and be the happy wives. And then I also have this book, the Everyday a Honeymoon.
Yeah.
Everyday a honeymoon.
I love that title.
So
Every time I
that
hear it.
I know. So this is I mean like God just dropping this thing, like it's possible. We've been talking about challenges in marriage and so on. Yes, you can still make every day a honeymoon in spite of challenges. Like I said, I mentioned earlier that a bad day does not mean a bad life. Life is in seasons.
Yeah.
It's only how you manage those seasons that can make your life interesting. And we don't determine seasons, but we can choose how to go through the seasons.
Wow.
And like we say, life is 10% what happens to you, 90% is what you do with it.
Yeah.
90% is what you do with what happens to you. So it is only 10% that is external, that you don't have control over. But you have control over 90%.
You have control.
You have control over 90%. And so it is possible. When we say everyday honeymoon, it is for real, because it is possible. There's something, when I got this concept, is because my own life, my children used to ask me, say, Mom, how does it look? It look like, how can you be happy every day? It's possible. I'm happy every day, not because I don't have challenges every day.
Yeah. But it's a choice that you've made. It's a choice. I'm going to be happy every day. It's a choice.
I want to be happy. Yeah. And so I choose something. I will say, choose your battles. Yeah. I choose my battles. Yeah. And I will sit and calculate before I get really angry. I look at the thing, turn the sight. If I get angry, what am I going to gain here? I'm going to look at what is going to add to me. If it's not going to add nothing, you know what? I just keep and make myself happy, because I also tell people that your happiness starts with you. Every day, a honeymoon is your happiness that starts with you, not with your relationships, not with your job, not with your house. It starts with you, not with your money, not with how much money you have.
Already now we want to read the book. Just hearing.
So and then I also have a book for the attraction code for the young unmarried who desire to get married. I have the attraction code. That's a book that will also come out. I want to launch all of them this year. I'm starting with the VIP wife. Those other ones are also in the open, but I want to finish with the VIP wife, and then the attraction code for young people, how to position yourself for marriage, to get to attract the right spouse. The right spouse, because there is a positioning that will only attract wrong people your way. So how do you position yourself to attract the right person? It has to do everything around you, your attitude, and a lot of things I have put in that book. So when all of that will come out, we're going to launch them together.
I'm looking forward.
Yes.
Looking forward. And any programs you have going on right now?
Yes, I have a course, Blab, a course that is carefully designed to meet the 21st century woman's desires, to solve a lot of the problems that 21st century woman is going through. The Blab is called the Blossom Life Accountability Program. It's a program that I have put together, and I call it My Inner Circle. I put it together to handhold a few women, take them along, prepare them, empower them, equip them, and release them to go and manifest who God created them to manifest. So it's an accountability program. So it's going to be very interactive. It's going to be very, there's going to be one-on-one coaching. And so it's a program I've put in my all, because I want to see these women excel. I want to see them stand out. I want to see them align with purpose. I want to help them to find themselves. So there is a mandate that God gave me for Blab. As I was walking around the content of Blab, God put this mandate. It's a framework, the Blab mandate framework, which I'm going to share. And most of what we'll be doing is going to align with that mandate. It's very powerful. It is very, very powerful that if we align with it, that is where fulfillment lies. It helps marriages. It's going to help women that are struggling in marriage to start enjoying their marriages. Those who are dangling in their careers, it will help them to establish them, to stand firm in their career lives. Those who are doing business, those who are just housewives, because it's for this blab is for every woman who wants to live the life of their dreams, who wants to live their best life,
That's powerful.
their life as intended by God.
Awesome. So how can people register for this?
Ooh. So the link, there's a link in my bio, but on the flyer, I have a flyer on my page that has numbers on it that you can reach directly to me. But
Okay,
when
so
you click the
your
link,
Instagram page, they should be able to do that.
yes, on my Instagram page at Delphine
Okay,
and
at Delphine.
yes.
Not
So
Delphine.
when you go there, you're gonna see there's several posts I've done about this course, and we're already beginning on the 13th of February, and we're going to have recordings in case you are following this much later and you still want to join. I can link you to the recordings of all the classes, all the lessons. But it's very important to get into this because it's a mandate that God gave me for women so that they can be the best of themselves in everything.
Awesome. That's that way. In fact, it's gonna be exciting. I can already imagine the women that are in there already.
I know.
So if
Yeah,
you know
so
you want to
excited.
join this, I'll also put a link. I'll put a link when we share the podcast. The podcast goes out on Wednesday. I know this starts on Monday. The podcast goes out on Wednesday, but still people can still at least watch the recording. If
Yeah,
they want to join, they can still
they
join.
can. Yes,
They can
yes.
still watch. So if you're looking for your relationship, your marriage to go to the next level, this is a great program to join because, like we said, my Delphine has not just been in marriage for almost 24 years. She's also been coaching women for over 15 years. So that's a lot of years. That's a lot of experience. So I'm so excited. Any last words for us, Ma? Any last words for us?
Yeah, yes. I always say that whatever you expect from the other person, start giving them. What you want somebody to do for you, start doing it for them. Because this is going to, cut a lot of drama out of your life. If you want to be happy, you want somebody to make you happy, you start trying to make them happy. Live with intentionality. Like, what do I do to make this person happy? Find ways and keep finding ways. Like every day, be intentional about giving out, dishing out happiness in your marriage, even at your job site. I always tell people, it starts from home. Once it's going well, they say what happens in the bedroom affects the boardroom. So if it goes well in your marriage,
You go
it's
with
going to
the board.
contaminate your environment. Yes, even at work. So it's going to flow well at work. So start well at home so that your workplace, they will enjoy you. Relationships are very important, as I say to people, because once they are good, life is about relationships.
Yeah.
Once the one within you is already giving well, the ones around you will work. So be intentional.
Be intentional. People, have you heard that? Be intentional. Wow. Thank you so much for this. I'm so, so grateful for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us. I know when the VIP wife is done and we're doing the next book, we'll be having her come
Sure.
on again. But thank you so much, Ma. Looking forward
You're
to
welcome.
hosting you again. Bye, everyone. Thanks for
Thank you
listening
so
to
much.
this and watching this. And if you listen and you haven't watched, if you don't watch it, we also have the video version on YouTube. You can always watch it on my YouTube channel, Oluwalabodi, the Purpose Midwife. Remember, you can always go there and watch it. See you next time. Bye.